Hi, I'm Martin Grahame-Dunn and welcome to this, the first of our video shorts on the basics of lighting, posing and composition. For some time now it's become clear that many of the fundamentals of professional photography are largely being ignored in favour of the "I'll fix it in Photoshop" syndrome. Well, during these shorts I want to take you through a step-by-step process of just trying to get it right. If we try to divide an image into constituent parts, we come up with the three main ones. First of all, lighting. Often it's all too easy to just select a location without actually thinking where the light is coming from. When we actually introduce our model, we're going to take that into account very much so. I'll be using my white card to determine the principal light direction, which is a nice easy method, and from that point we'll position our model in the location to the most aesthetic effect for her. Having determined the principal lighting direction, we're then going to look at the next most important, that of composition, in which we're going to place our subject effectively within the frame. I don't mean that we're going to simply fill the frame with our subject, but we're going to use it to best effect, to give us the opportunity for post-capture editing at some later point. In the last phase, prior to actually pushing that shutter button, I'm going to look at actually the posing of the subject themselves. I'm going to try and demystify it and look at the basic elements of how a human body works and the most comfortable and effective way to place a subject in without an undue amount of interference. Well, now we're in a shoot situation, and behind me here we have Lexi. She's going to be my model for today, together with all the quacking ducks, which is just a bit of life. And I'm going to try and explain why and how I use this white card. Now, this is critical when it comes to ascertaining light direction in difficult circumstances, but right here, right now, it's pretty easy to ascertain. Now, obviously, there's a huge difference between us and a camera, in as much as that we have two eyes, binocular, peripheral vision. The camera doesn't. It is a one-eyed critter, and we have to learn to see at 2.8 just the way the lens is. If I were to have a mantra as a trainer, it would be see the light, feel the light, and use the light. Now, the difficulty for most newcomers to photography is it's very difficult for them to see directional light, particularly in overcast circumstances. Now, one of our problems is that we have extensive peripheral vision, and we have two eyes, unlike the camera, which only has the one. So we have to learn to train our eyes to be able to see exactly the way the camera lens does. Now, with a camera, we use a lens hood to prevent extraneous light from falling on the surface of the lens and stopping downlighting coming in and affecting the image. Now, it's exactly the same with our eyes. If I take off this baseball cap, then I see light in a very different way. By putting it back on again, I in fact give myself some natural top shade, and I'm able to determine light direction an awful lot easier. Throughout my training methods, you'll see me use this white card quite extensively. Now, right here and right now, I know exactly where the light's coming from. And as I look at Lexi in the background, I can see it's coming from over here, striking on the subject. Now, I like to present the face to the light to obtain the best possible shape for me. I prefer a short lighting pattern. That is to say, to light into the side of the face furthest from the camera lens. Now, in situations where the light is indeterminate, this white card comes in very handy. And although I know where the light is coming now, I'm going to show you exactly how I use it. Using the white card is quite simple. Now, this fold or V in the card is meant to represent your nose on the human face and enable us to see what happens when light hits both sides. What I'm looking for is to create a discernible difference of about a stop and a half between the bright side and the shadow side. Now, to use this effectively, I'm going to hold this at arm's length with one eye closed, partially squinting with the other, so I'm actually opening up the iris in my eye, allowing more light coming in and effectively trying to see it around about 2.8. Right, you can see clearly on this card now there is a discernible difference between the side on this side, the left-hand side where the light is coming from, and the shadow area over my right shoulder. This is going to give me the difference that I want to create a lovely shape of light on Lexi's face. Okay, well, I'm going to shoot this in manual. So what I'm looking for, first of all, just to demonstrate what we're talking about in terms of the direction of light, is a very simple headshot. So I'm going to direct Lexi nice and simply. What I'm also looking for is 2 distinct catch lights in her eyes, and I'm going to control that with the use of my hand. So first of all, bring the camera up to the face and decide I've got a head and shoulders portrait, more or less. Bring the camera away from the face. Lexi, turn your face towards my hand a wee bit more, okay, and tilt your head this way a fraction. And just your eyes to the point of my finger. And that's fine, and just quite up to the face and capture. Just to demonstrate the importance of catch lights, I want you to look now at Lexi's eyes. She's going to look at my fingertip here, and at the moment the eyes are pretty dead. But as I raise my finger and she follows it, the catch light opens beautifully. This is a good example of choosing a location but not particularly thinking about the light. Now, as Lexi is at the moment, you can see the light is fairly flat on her face. But if I actually move her further backwards into the scene, I can demonstrate quite clearly with the white card just what I'm saying. If I actually hold my white card now, you can see there is a slight difference between camera left and camera right, but not enough to get a good shape on her face. So as I can see now, the light is reasonably flat on Lexi's face, but what I want is a bit more depth and shadow. So I'm going to actually ask her to move further back into the scene, which she's doing for me, and you can see immediately there's quite a difference. And as I bring the white card up, we can see how much difference there is. Now, I obviously want to turn Lexi's face to take the light. The light is coming from over here. I get her eyes to about here. You can see the catch lights open perfectly once again. We've got a ratio there that is more than acceptable. Right, we're going to do just 1 or 2 exposures with Lexi now, and I'm just going to demonstrate the lighting itself, and you'll see it in the stills that we're going to shoot. I'm going to do a full length first, and she's going to tip her knee in just a fraction more to give a bit more shape, incline her head towards her right shoulder just a fraction, and looking straight up, and maybe with a little gentle expression, a gentle smile would be quite nice. And a second frame, looking up high towards the sky. That's it there. Perfect. And those catch lights are bold, bright and open. The object of this very short shoot is just simply to look at the direction of light, and I'm not trying to attempt to be creative in any way. Well, here we are in the centre of Covent Garden in London, and it's a very crisp April day. I'm here just to look at people and people watch. And you learn so much from just watching natural behaviour. The way people change their stances, the way they echo each other in what they do, the way they communicate across the table, the way they walk hand in hand. And in London, within this area, you see everything going on. So here it is. Here's the million-dollar question. Is there any such thing as photographic posing? Well, I really wonder. To me, the best method is to simply observe human behaviour. See what people do naturally. Watch how they interact towards each other. Watch how they stand and how they communicate. And then try and adapt that in each and every one of your shots. To simply say to a subject, well, stand there and lead forward with your left foot, or put your weight on your back foot. Back foot, what does that mean? Or can you put your arms out to the side? Can you fold your arms? It's a lot of instruction. And all these instructions begin to get very confusing. Surely it's better to watch quietly and work out how, by a simple movement of a hand, a simple transference of weight, or just making somebody just a little bit more comfortable by the use of language and suggestion, rather than actually physically intervening, is going to give you much better shots. Okay, Lexi, what I want you to do for me is, can you put your weight on your back foot? Okay, right. Can you actually turn around a wee bit more and just point your, hang on a minute, point your right foot towards me? Oh, hang on, your left. So I'm not thinking straight in the mirror. Put your hands in your pockets, would you? Okay, that's okay. And now can you just tip your head this way a bit? Can you tip it that way a bit? Okay, can you look round over there where it says that the sign dinner jackets over there? You see that? Okay, that's too far. Can you actually look round at a little bit more towards the sign over there that says Tavistock Court? Yeah, can you do that for me? No, that's not quite right either. Can you tip your head more towards your right shoulder? Well, that's clearly not working, is it? Too many commands, too much confusion, and poor Lexi hasn't got a clue what to do. I'm neither demonstrating clearly, I'm not watching what she's doing. She's standing there waiting to be photographed, feet together, totally uncomfortable in an alien environment. And that's not what we need to do at all. So let's try and put it right. What I'm going to do now is simply ask Lexi just to relax. So can you hear me, Lexi? Yeah, can you just relax, just chill out. Just lean against the wall, doesn't matter, get totally relaxed, and just have a look around and imagine that your boyfriend is coming to meet you and you're waiting here doing God knows what in the freezing cold, okay? And just try and make yourself comfortable as you can. I'm not looking at her at all. I'm going to turn around in a moment, see what she's doing, and quite simply adapt and modify the way she's standing and try and make it into something photographic. Simple as that. Well, actually, that's not bad at all. And all we need to do is give Lexi just one or two very simple instructions, and hopefully she'll actually go into the right position for us. So we'll see what we can do. Lexi, first of all, I want you to look at my hand. Imagine this is the same shape as your face. Just look at my hand here for me and just tip it over that way for me. That's excellent. I know the wind's blowing, don't worry about it too much. It's one of those things. And now your eyes to my finger here. Now that is about it. Now what I want to do now, Lexi, is just see a little bit of daylight under your right arm. So can you bend your right elbow a little? Stop. That is enough. Nothing more than that, and it's as simple as that. And now your eyes to me. And let's see if we can get just a gentle expression. There we go. And there's the picture. Well, here we are in London still, and it's freezing cold, hence the jacket all wrapped up, and right next to Bow Street Magistrates Court and Police Station, so I'm seriously hoping I don't get arrested, although I probably do look a little dodgy and a bit like a terrorist. Anyway, not to worry. I'm going to do a shoot with Lexi in and around this area and see what we can pull out with some very simple pictures, clear direction, and just try and get one or two shots done quite quickly. Okay, Lexi, do you want to just move into shot for me? That's good. Right, first of all, I want to centralise you on that phone box. I'm using the frame behind to actually frame you. So just a little bit to your, that's perfect. Right, now what I want you to do is hands back against the door, right, slight tip in the hip, wait on what, that's good, and just sink it down, and a nice cheeky smile. That is super. Here we are, and I'm looking at my location behind me, and I'm looking at compositional factors. So I have the railings in there. Lexi's just doing her thing behind me. I haven't got a clue what she's doing. She's probably smiling. Yes, she's looking happy now. That's good. And I've got not only the railings themselves, but there's the canopy over the doorway just behind me to my right, and a fairly clear pavement. So what I'm going to try and do is shoot a couple of different aspects in landscape and portrait. Right, Lexi, I'm just going to leave you as you are. You're just staying as you are now. Bring your face round towards me a fraction. Just tilt your head. Wonderful. That is great. And we're going for the long shot, which is portrait at the moment. And I want that foot down a little bit because you're looking a bit like a stork. That's better. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a landscape shot using a heavy line to one side of the frame at camera left, and put your foot down more for me, Sudit. That's it. Down a little bit more. Down a bit more. Excellent. Focus locking on Lexi, recomposing the picture. Okay, this is our third and final location, and what photographer can pass up the opportunity of a nice door? It seems to be one of those things in professional photography that every competition you look at, somebody's got a door in it. Well, this is going to be no exception for now. So what I'm going to try and do is use the framing that's obvious behind me, use my 3:2 proportion with my DSLR as a basis for my composition. I'm also going to be placing Lexi either to camera left or camera right in one of the bottom corners, and I may even stand her up against the doorway. Either which way, we're going to use that framing as effectively as we can. So for the first time at this stage, I'm actually going to look at Lexi and go in there and just tidy what she's doing at the moment. This is the way she's chosen to sit naturally, and I think she's quite comfortable, or appears to be so. Now I'm going to go through a little ritual, if you wish. That is educate. That is to inform your subject what you want them to do. Be clear, concise and accurate. Intervene. If you need to go in and alter the image in any way and move the subject, go in and do it effectively. Don't mess around. In there, change it, back out. And the final part of it is execution. That is the part at which we actually get round to raising the camera to the face, having decided what our viewpoint is, what our angle is, chosen our depth of field, and then snap away. Okay, Lexi, the only problem I see now is your hand, because at the moment the way the lens sees your hand, it's coming straight into your face. So what I'm going to do is let it drop just there, just relax it and lift that one and move it to there. I'm going to do nothing more than that. Now what I'm going to do is move around you to take a series of shots rather than quite simply take everything straight in. Okay, well that's a wrap. It's absolutely freezing. Starbucks is calling and we need to get there to get a nice cup of hot chocolate. It's freezing, it's April, I can't believe it, but it's been quite a nice day. I hope that you picked up 1 or 2 tips from this session and look forward to doing a lot more with you. Thanks, goodbye. Cheers, thank you. Bye.